Hi, welcome to Trigonometries. Today we're going to take a look at a spreadsheet function called the RAND function. The RAND function and its close cousin RANDBETWEEN are basically random number generators. It's pretty straightforward how they work. So in this top field here, I'm going to put in the RAND function, R-A-N-D. So you got to put that equal sign because it's a function. And then it doesn't take any arguments. You can see that every time I press a different button, it's producing a different value there. But if I hit enter, basically what this function does is it produces a random number between 0 and 1. What this is useful for is you can use it for things like probabilities, which are given as numbers between 0 and 1. You can use it for a random percentage or other kinds of things of that sort. One important thing to note about using the RAND function is that every time you execute something in the sheet, the random generation will occur again. So if I were to say equals 2 here, you'll notice that the first field also changed because it's re-executing the whole worksheet, which causes it to pick a new random number. If I change this field to equals 3, again, you can see that it changes that number there because it's going to pick a different random number every time you create the spreadsheet. So that's a pretty interesting tool that you can use for a lot of different ideas. If you would prefer to have a random integer, like a counting number, instead of a random number between 0 and 1, you can use the RANDBETWEEN function. This one here, if you type it out, RANDBETWEEN, you have to give it two arguments, both of which are an integer. The first integer you give is the lower limit that you want to get a random integer from, and the second number is the upper range. So for example, if I put in 3 to 15 here, this is going to produce an integer, a counting number, between 3 and 15 each time it executes the sheet. So you can see there's a 3 there. If I were to come down here and say equals 7 for field 5 to force it to re-execute the sheet, you can see that the RANDBETWEEN picked a different integer. If I pick a different number here, you can see it executed it again and again. So each time you execute the sheet, you'll get a different random integer there. And that's pretty much it for how you use the RAND or RANDBETWEEN function. We'll see you next time on Trigonometries.